So I'm going to be talking from the microphone so that you can better hear me here in person and hopefully on Zoom and on Facebook Live. So I'm hoping, and Julie, you can be monitoring this too, but I think, okay, wonderful. We've got all kinds of people here. Thank you for showing up, everyone. So I'm going to go ahead. We have a beautiful prayer for paradise on earth that we have been utilizing in my services, and you can say it along with me. And I will give you everything that you need to be able to find it yourself with my research. You'll see that. So for those who are thirsty, then they can do a more in-depth dive. And so, as you'll know with my services, I'll show you my references. And that way you can go into it in more detail. But this is a beautiful prayer for paradise on earth. And it sets everything in motion for us to create heaven on earth. Because we are the divine source. We represent that, the fulcrum between heaven and earth. And we are the divine man. So beautiful prayer for paradise on earth. Great God of light, we behold your plan unfolding, whereby all spiritual clouds are dispelled, impurity and error cleansed. From the realms of spirit and matter, the age of light and joy is being born. Through your infinite compassion, misguided forces awaken unto truth, and negative practices cease, while forces of light unhindered restore the world to peace. All of nature receives your loving influence and finds its rightful place. Peaceful clouds move across brilliant skies, and the fragrance of countless flowers floats upon the air. Abundant harvests glorify the earth, every corner filled with happy voices. Boundaries between countries vanish, and ancient conflicts disappear as if dreams. All people are united, encircled by your light, and guided by your wisdom. Through service to humanity, all are blessed with health, peace, and prosperity. Great God of light, strengthen us with courage and wisdom to follow your will and realize paradise on earth. You hear that beautiful reference, Great God of Light. And in last month's service, I went and spoke about the City of Lights. And it was on the codices, the verse codices from the 2nd century. But it literally was Jesus having a beautiful robe of light descending upon him, and then him going up into the City of Lights and all the many dimensions. And this is talked about in the Gnostic Gospels as well as in the Hindu. So you'll start to see the blend there, and that's the City of Lights. Isn't that beautiful? And this beautiful robe of light came upon him. So you'll see many references to light, and light is so important. And that's why I thought I'd do a little bit of a deeper dive on this. But let's go ahead, because light awakens us. It activates us. And we'll be going in here and showing you that we are beings of light. And when we can activate that, our light increases. God of our heart, God of our realization, beloved benefactor of the cosmos, creator of love divine that creates and generates all the universes, come shine down upon us all and into us. Fill us with your holy magnificence. Awaken us, activate our spirits, set us afire with your grace and love. Empower us, O Lord, to be fully activated spirits and souls, for we are your sons and daughters, made in your image, shining our lights to the world. Help us serve humanity. Help us acquire the virtues, find our path of service, and lift the veils of forgetfulness. And let us receive enlightenment to help light the world. And we say amen, 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 and amen. So I'm going to try here. We've got a little bit of a PowerPoint to help the people in person. And Julie's going to be hopefully going through this PowerPoint for the people on Zoom and Facebook. And I'm going to share my screen just so you can see the pictures. And there we are. Beautiful. So you'll see, and when I change mine, then you can change this, right? So right here we can start. That's the Cosmic Center of Spiritual Light. And for those, so that we can spread our light, this is our website, ccosl.com, and you can always go there to donate. But if you could hit the next one, where I'm at, let's see if we can get this coordinated. Let's see here. Oh, wait. Here we go. There we go. We're back. Now we're good. Now we got it. All right. So let's talk about the power of light and what is light. We're going to be doing that from a holy aspect across the traditions and scientific and its applications for today. So what is light? The light of God. We've heard that 1,000 times. From Moses, from the burning bush, to light coming down upon us from the angels. All across the many traditions, light has been associated with God. What does it represent? The divine source of goodness. It's always representing goodness. Light and dark, right? Truth, guidance. Because with light, we are divinely guided. And even remember the Jews in the wilderness, they had the pillar of light that they were following, right? And the light descends upon awakened individuals, whether it's Buddha, Christ, and the transfiguration. This light descends upon us, and the Gnostic Gospels are talking about the robes of light. The light of God reveals. It gives us understanding. That's what it's representing. And how is it doing that? See? It is the source of enlightenment itself. And I think it's interesting, even in the English language, enlightenment. To enlighten, the light comes in to our bodies, and we then exhibit it. That is the truly enlightened soul that walks in light, right? It does represent spiritual wisdom, and it is the source of life on earth. As above, so below. We, the planet, all of life, from the plants to the animals to us, we could not function without the light. But it has to be at just the right temperatures. Isn't that beautiful? It's always about balance. We emanate light ourselves. And I'm going to go into this in detail, but our entire bodies emanate light. It's at a lower frequency, but that also shows you why we have the aura. Why in all the iconography you can see everyone with the halos. But that's the light. We emanate light. It's just that our eyes cannot always see the light in those frequency bandwidths. Some can, when we develop our inner vision and our inner gifts, can see the light. But many times I've seen someone walk in and the light was everywhere. When I was first young, I didn't know what I was looking at, and was actually Jose Feliciano. He's online. And I walked up, he was giving a performance, and it was like a rainbow all the way around him. I thought it was from the light show. And I walked up and I talked to the light guy. I said, "You're doing something big." He's not, "It's not me." So I go, "What is this?" But he had literally, you want to talk about a rainbow light body? It was, I thought, the camera guy was doing it. Mm-mm. So some individuals, you can walk and you'll see it takes your breath away. But that's interesting that they'll emanate that. And sometimes when we lose one sight or another aspect of our sense, another another gift comes upon us, right? Because you're concentrating on that. So that's why I always thought about that with Jose Feliciano. But yes, we can develop that, and I would tell you we're supposed to have it. So I'll get into this a little bit later, but let's go ahead into the next. Light is considered holy, divine, and it's healing too. There's been people laying on the hands, the light comes out of them, right? That's the chi, the life force, the nous, as Ken and I know from the Rosicrucians. That's the vital life force. They have across all traditions. The light, what do you think the laying on hands is? Taking your energy and projecting it into someone. You see? So that is what the chi is. That is the light within, the light of our vital life force. The Bible alone has 200 references to light. But some of the ones that you may know, the light of God, it represents his presence. Genesis 1:3, how many times have we seen this? God said, let there be light. But I've often thought about that. And remember, there was the void, and the darkness moved upon the earth. And then God separated light from dark. And he said, let there be light. Sound. It's vibration first. And I did a little bit of a dive on that, and that's very interesting. They think that sound is faster than light now. We'll see this, and there's quantum. It's interesting because they keep coming up with more stuff. But let's Isaiah 61, arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. So God is associated with light. It is a frequency. It is a force, right? John 1:5, God is light, and in him there is no darkness. Although I would disagree a little bit, only because of my near-death experience. Because when I went up into heaven, they're finding the vacuum of space, and that's maybe the void before all potentialities. So I didn't go into the light, I went into the vastness of all. So it was absolutely beautiful. It's teeming with consciousness. Generates, self-generating. So across the traditions, let's look at some of them. In Hinduism, Lord Vishnu is associated with light. He is the Lord of the universe and is shown as the light of awareness and the sun. In the Rig Veda, he is mentioned as leading the original 7 solar gods. 7 days of creation, 7 rays of the rainbow. 7 is always a mystical number. It's the triune and the 4, which is the physical combined. We meditate on the lovely light of God. May it stimulate our thoughts. And this is in the hymn book of the Rig Veda. You see that? So he is one, right? Lord Vishnu is light. Now let's go to the other. Ra. And I'm very familiar with Ra, right? The Egyptian sun god Ra. We all know that. The falcon head is a symbol of power and of the sky. The sun disk represents his role as the sun god. So in a lot of that Egyptian iconography, you'll start to see the sun god Ra, right? So let's now go to Atum, the sun disk god. And you're familiar with this. Now, we often have seen this, and we know that Akhenaten was one of the first pharaohs ever that combined all the hierarchies and said, wait a minute, there's one God. All the other one are many aspects under. Now, we got a lot of flack for that, right? And the priesthood got a little upset and diminished him. But this is, you'll see this many different places in museums and on the internet. But see, that's the sun disk. But you see the hands coming out and then lifting up. That's, replenisher. Think about what the sun does. But that's a representative of God. So he was the first pharaoh to bring the monotheism to the Egyptians. sun. They're not actually worshiping the sun. There's an aspect of that, but it's the higher logos, right? And that the sun represents. What is the sun? But it's the life giver. It gives us photosynthesis for plants. We know that. But think of it as photosynthesizing our spirituality because it's going to be activating our physical bodies. We know, scientists know that in the mystical traditions they told you, meditate with the sun, right? Think pure thoughts, radiate pure thoughts. Jesus told us that, right? But the sun itself activates the master glands. And this is what the mystery schools were all about. But we know this scientifically because it activates the master glands, and then you're able to activate more knowledge within your body, accessing more gifts. It heals our body. It's symbolic of the light of God. So when Akhenaten is lifting his hands, it's the rays and the gratefulness. Do you see that? But it's not like he's just worshiping the sun. But its radiance is needed to sustain life on Earth. NASA, bless their hearts, has went up and they literally have documented the sounds of the sun. And you can go on the internet and you can hear the frequency of the sun and all the other planets. That's healing. But I tell you now, just going outside and feeling the rays and letting it shine upon your body and your eyes activates you physically and heals you. They know this. Even grounding, they know that walking out with, on Earth, feeling the frequency of Mother Earth is literally reducing the inflammation when you walk barefoot upon the Earth. They've got all kinds of scientific studies on that. Let's go back to our wonderful man Pythagoras, right? He founded his own mystery school. I did another lecture on this. But he was wonderful. And what most people don't realize, just he's a mathematician, he was a mystic. He founded his own mystery schools. And he studied in Egypt. It took him a while to get all the knowledge there. And he had to prove his patience because he wanted it so quickly, they were making him wait. So he's known for mathematics, but also color, music, and sound were everywhere important to him. And he speaks of a monochord. And I'm going to get into this, and Ken can appreciate this. He's going to get excited because I found a slide for us. But Pythagoras, way back when, spoke of a monochord. And a monochord is like a lyre. Think of many different strings, right? And he's connecting earth all the way up to the heavens. And remember, he's speaking to the music of the spheres. But think of that beautiful monochord with all the different strings from earth. Is it any different than Jacob's ladder? No. It's frequencies. I'm going to talk about what is that thunderbolt of creation. So he devised and spoke about this monochord. It's based on frequencies, and he'll tell you that. He believed color, like music, was governed by mathematical ratios. And that's where, remember I had that Pythagoras keyboard, that Landoma, and I'll have that next week. It's literally mapped out with all the colors and ratios. Everything's about balance with him and harmonies. And there's universal laws that we're taught in the mystery schools that govern the universe, that organizes matter. That's evident even in the little sunflowers, right? So his whole philosophy was about bringing balance and harmony. And how do we best do that? Light, overcoming darkness, it's the light of awareness, right? Getting rid of ignorance, that's really sin, right? So the light of awareness, of knowledge. And then you bring balance to yourself, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, then you can give it to the world. So he had a wonderful mystery school. Here is the reference if you want to do a really beautiful deep dive on Pythagoras and his mystery group here, but he'll even talk to you about the theory of music and color, because this is all entwined. Light, music, color, it's all there. It's one aspect of the same. So it's sacred-text.com. But what was his philosophy? The basic four, right? Four is physical, but white, black, red, and yellow are the primary colors, which are associated with what? Fire, water, earth, and air. It's physical, the physical universe. I don't know if any of you know Captain Planet. He's our hero. It is taking pollution down to zero. That our kids used to do it. It's earth, air, water, fire. And they would put their rings together. We used to laugh because they said, that's like a mystical axiom. They're teaching the kids with cartoons. And I said, I love it. Get your rings together. And they'd have to put it together. Bring in Captain Planet. But that's what that is. Fire, water, earth, and air. Those are the four elements of earth. You see? And you can even imagine, even with the cross, that's the four. It's the four governing forces of earth. Four, physical manifestation, governing, always the universal laws, because we have physical existence. Mysteries of the lyre. And as you know, I love the harps. But Plato even said this. I thought we had to bring Plato in here. That the Egyptians had sacred songs and music for 10,000 years. That's Plato saying that. And of course, he gave us Atlantis too, right? They were so exalted that only the gods could have composed them. In the mystery schools, the lyre was regarded as the secret symbol of the human constitution. Playing upon the nerves, the spirit created the harmonies of normal functioning. As above, so below. Think of the monochord now. It's a huge harp. You see that? That's what that is. But it's all ratios of music and balance. And as we navigate, as the mystics have been taught, you rise up. It's all about balance physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, so that you become self-governing and that you're in balance. So isn't that bringing from chaos to order? You have to bring yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually into order. Pythagoras then spoke of mathematics, because math is governing all creation, creating things. Think of the Fibonacci ratio and the golden mean. It just so happens that the 7 chord, the music, I can remember that in the Egyptian pyramids, that in the Egyptian literature, they only wanted certain frequencies and certain vowels emitted, and they were 7. Isn't that interesting? In the Egyptian pyramids and the mystery schools. So 7, think of the 7 colors of the rainbow. Light, white light, then gets, right, refracted into the 7 beautiful colors. Is that not the Ark of the Covenant? In the Ark of the Covenant, remember the rainbow? That's our many blessings. So think of the beauty of that. But can we use that to help us and heal us? And you're going to start to see they're using the different colors now. Certain colors do certain things, and I'm going to bring that up for you. Some of these wonderful researchers. And we're starting to use the light now, whether it's the LED, the laser lights, right? Red light therapy, and now even with sound, they're using the sound to, blast the gallbladder stones. So we're starting to use these elements, which the Egyptians probably already had done thousands of years ago, but we're starting to have technology catch up at the mystical schools. Think of the beautiful 7 days of creation. Now, we talked about us being beings of light. And if we get the right colors and bring us into harmony and balance, we have health. But let's talk about how science shown us that we're actual beings of light. Christ said that, right? It's throughout the Bible. We are light. Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the light. Amen. Come into me, right? Follow me. But did he not then just say that he is our elder brother, these things I do, he can do these and greater. So we are also made in that similitude. So Christ is saying this in his own version. But what has science showed us? This is a quote from Dr. Fritz Albert Popp. He's a biophysicist. And this is what he is saying this, and these are some of the pictures you can see of the hands where you can emanate the light. Remember the healing hands of light? That we have even healing touch. But the rays of light laying out of the hands is healing. But how do you think Jesus was healing too, right? But this is what Dr. Fritz Popp has told us. We know today that man essentially is a being of light, and the modern science of photobiology is presently proving this in terms of healing. The implications are immense, and we know, for example, that quanta of light can initiate or arrest cascade-like reactions in cells, and that genetic cellular damage can be virtually repaired within hours by faint light beams. Think about that, and we're starting to do that now with the different colors of light and realizing where that came from. But he showed this with studies, and you can see it on the body where the light, when you get the right equipment, will emit it. He knows even the frequencies at a very low dose, but it's emitting light even at a cellular level. You can see with his images that you can see the light is emitted and will be throughout the body. Our Bible told us this in Psalms, right? King James Version, 76:4. You are radiant with light. We are. We are emitting light. We are made of stardust, but we are light. And now science is showing us that. But with every thought, word, and deed, we can increase our threshold of light or diminish it. And I say to you, do not let music, because music can uplift us, it can degrade us. Words can uplift us or degrade us. People, energy. Do not let anyone diminish your light. And even Christ said that when he said, do not hide your light under a bushel barrel. Let the light out, but with empowerment. We get to choose what we want into our environment and how we're going to awaken our body and heal it so that we can empower ourselves to activate these gifts. So this is Dr. Fritz Albert Popp demonstrated that our body cells emit a radiation of light called biophotons. It is ultra weak. This ultra weak photon emission is spontaneously emitted from the skin of humans. So now you can see why when someone's in your vicinity or touch issue, and when even Jesus, he knew when the woman, he says, the energy from my robe has went away, who touched me? That's his aura, his energy, right? He could feel it. Now let's get into the mystery schools. This is both in South America and in Egypt, and many people have been speaking of this, and there's all kinds of people, especially on Gaia, that will speak of this, and they're doing documentaries. But there's the pyramids, and you'll even see this in the Colburn Bible, but the pyramids were places of initiation. So the sarcophagus, was the initiative. He was the initiate, and he was having an experience. And they would bring them as close to death as possible to navigate all the higher heavens. But in the process, and you're seeing this both in South America and in Egypt, what they would do is have the initiate in darkness for a couple of days. And then this changes the chemistry. And then after they go through this unbelievable experience, they bring them out into the light. And when the light hits, all the melatonin and all the dopamine serotonin is released. And it's an unbelievable activating event. And interestingly, Greg Braden on his documentary I loved it. And I can't validate, I can only tell you he said this and he validated it. Interestingly, in the king's chamber, in the sarcophagus, there was powder. And he said they swept it up and they put it on a lab, shelf somewhere to be looked at later because they didn't know what it was. They have just now figured out what it was. It's a calcification of the pineal gland. Wow! That's authenticating the fact that the initiates were in the sarcophagus having these unbelievable experiences. And what was it doing? Because, yes, it decalcified the pineal gland. And that was the calcification. They now know that. So our journey is to decalcify our pineal gland. Do not use fluoride. Ground. Pay attention to what you're eating and thinking, right? We want that as pure as possible because of all the toxins. But interestingly, that has now been uncovered. So that's why these initiates, and that's why they had all these other gifts and powers, they knew the process. So that's what the initiates were doing in the pyramids. And that will be backed up with Hermes. And I've spoken to everyone about the Kolbrin Bible. The Kolbrin Bible are texts of papyrus that the Egyptians still had. It's actually, the Masons actually released it. And beautiful. And it will speak of all the creation stories of before the flood. And the Celtic ones speak of also the time of the Great Frightener. It's very interesting, their creation stories, but they actually have a first-hand chapter in there about Mary and Jesus, firsthand. So the Celts saved a lot of these creation stories, as well as the Egyptians. And that's in the Kolbrin Bible. And for any of you who are interested, please, the Kolbrin Bible, get the 21st edition. It's unbelievable what's there. And it's the creation stories before the flood. And we have access to it now. So that I wanted to show you, that's why we want to decalcify this pineal gland. And Ken and I are all excited about this. But this is the halved version of in your brain of where the pineal gland sits. And as you can see that's when we made this astonishing revelation. We look at it, that was the eye of Horus. Right there, the Egyptians were trying to tell you. It was there in plain sight. The eye of Horus, right, is the encasement of where the pineal gland is. And now we have evidence that the sarcophagus, it was decalcifying the pineal, so you were totally activated in these initiations. So they're telling you, what is the eye of Horus, right? The eye of Osiris. All of that. That's telling you the third eye, right in your pineal gland, right? It's where it sits. That's our journey. That's how you get activated. That's your awareness. That's the light of understanding that will then increase your threshold of light, right? Because now you're activated. The pineal gland or spiritual third eye is regarded as the gateway of spiritual life, as per ancient concepts about the soul. Recently, modern neuroscience has proven that the pineal gland is not only the melatonin secreting neuroendocrine organ, which controls the circadian rhythm, but it is also has mystical and energetic associations with spirituality. We know this. But see, science is backing this up now. It acts as a tremendous coordinator between molecule, hormonal, and physiological and chemical rhythmic orchestra. That's why one of the reasons you're supposed to go out there and get some of that light in your eyes and in your body, right? It helps activate it. But yeah, think next time you see the eye of Horus, now you know you got secret. We just happen to have a picture of our activated Jesus. So can you see where the pineal gland sits? That when that's fully activated, you would have this blazing, unbelievable aura, right? Can you imagine that? So activating what your heart chakra, your third eye, your crown chakra, wheels of light. Jesus studied in India, right? He was the greatest avatar of the Son of God. He knew how to activate all those wheels of light. There you have it. That's the Cape of Brahma. That's what we're trying for. Aha, I can't look what I found. So this is beautiful. And we spoke of Pythagoras and the monochord, and we spoke of the Jacob's ladder, the frequencies of light, right? The Rosicrucians have their own version, but they layer it with science. So Pythagoras is absolutely correct. There's all frequencies, right? But this is the Rosicrucian cosmic keyboard. It's their vibration chart. They had this many years. So they give this out. You'll start to see this. It's light. It's all the same. Think of the frequencies. Light coming down through matter. You start with the gamma and the cosmic rays down into X-rays, into ultraviolet, visible light, heat or infrared, electromagnetic radio waves, down into sound and touch. The Rosicrucians mapped this out years and years ago. They've already known this. This was evident. Pythagoras had it. So we know that those are the Hertz frequencies. So even the lightning bolt, think of that. And I'm going to show you it's the lightning bolt of creation. And I'm going to show you how the Christian Kabbalah, that's what we're taught down to the tree of life. I actually might have one from my, let's see if I have one to show you. Forgive the yellow paper. I've been studying this for 30 years. It's my original. But think, you see, this is the lightning bolt of creation down from all the Sephirah, and I'll have another picture in the PowerPoint, but you can see it's hitting all the Sephirah. So even if I come here, you can start to see this is the tree of life with all the Sephirah, but it's the lightning bolt of creation. Think of light coming down into matter, then coming into concrete form in Malkuth. So that's how they envision it. You see that? Now, I have his book, and his story is unbelievable. And he was even put in prison or jail for whatever, but because they didn't like what he was doing. He was healing with light. And how many alternative practitioners have had to deal with the American Medical Association? But he was so firm in his conviction, and he was able to do this. And you can get his book today. He's mapped out which light frequency, Hertz frequency, and for how long that you have to use this filtered light to heal your body. It's sort of like Raymond Royal Wright using the frequencies, right? He's using light and color. So he's got all the different color frequencies. It's all Hertz, right? But each color is a frequency. So I want to show you the book. And this is who I'm speaking of, Darish Denshaw. And you can get his book today. Unbelievable, and I will show you. So you can see all the different colors, but what he's doing is giving you, this is a manual for whatever issue that you have medically. He has worked out the plan for whatever exposure to whatever light frequency that you need of color. So then you'll see in his book, he'll give you how long the exposure needs to be. Sometimes it's not just one color, because color groups together. You see that in harmonies again? So this is here available for those that you want to see it. But it's amazing. And you can buy LED lights now with the color frequencies and be able to use this. And he's found there had been medical doctors that you'll see the testimonies that had used this, and they said all diseases is a deficiency of a certain light color. Think of that. And you're replenishing your light body with the color frequency that you need because it's gotten diminished. Amazing. So here you'll see he's using the filters of different light colors for healing of the body. He also calculates the equivalent sound frequency for each color. As you all know, I'm into sound. Well, one's just another aspect of another. Light is a higher frequency, right? We just showed you that from the keyboard, the cosmic keyboard for the Rosicrucians. Look at this. He's giving you the formula for the spectrochrome red. He's giving you this frequency to arrive at a frequency in the audible range now to make it sound, because light, if you remember, actually Raymond Royal Rife was working with light. Okay? So now, if you want to make it a sound frequency, he's giving you, you will divide it, you divide the basic figure by 240 times. So you keep doing it 40 times, divide. Just bring it down. Think of the monochord. Think of the cosmic keyboard of the Rosicrucians. All you're doing is just coming down, right? Into sound and then touch. The Rosicrucians had it, right? So he's giving you the 40th octave of red. The Hertz frequency for sound now is 397.27. So that's where this is all interrelated. One is just a higher frequency, one's a lower frequency, depending on which particular wavelength you're using to heal the body. And then I showed you the book. So, and I said, like Raymond Royal Rife is working with light, then they were using the certain sounds, but he was working with light. And its frequencies of light and sound are the same. One is just a lower frequency of the other. As we're the lower frequency of Christ, right? Of God. That's all we are. As above, so below, as within. We are made in similitude. So we have, just like the drop in the ocean, is still the ocean. We are these beings of light. We are captured light frequencies. We are light. Color, I want to just show you the color wheel and how you'll see the different colors across the wheel, and one complements, they call them complementary colors. And so that's why even with Dinshaw, you'll see sometimes you use two different colors together. So it complements in a color code. Each color can be used to help stimulate or calm the body down. Red, as we know, can invigorate. Blue, greens, calm, right? So they know this. Dr. Edwin Babbitt, and if you go online, you can get his 300-page book on this. He wrote it in 1872, and he was one of the forerunners of this. Unbelievable. The ancients had this knowledge. He started to write it up in the late 1800s. It now has been revised, and there's other beautiful philosophers now that are speaking of this. But it's Dr. Edwin Babbitt. He's one of the forerunners on this, and you can get that for free. So, but I want you to see that light itself is used for physical healing. You can see this with Dinshaw. You see with the LED, the red light therapies, the lasers, right? Think you can also use Dr. Emoto. Our consciousness is light, right? So we're like a light beam, but we can literally, water is living consciousness. We can project it into the water. Now you start to see where Dr. Emoto was. Living light waves of energy, that's what we're creating with our thoughts, can be projected into water and create these beautiful crystals, right, of love, and then you drink it. So we have all these things that we can use from the ancient of days. They knew about this, right? But you're then embodying the beautiful love and light that you created and put into the water that we know manifests as these beautiful crystals that are what? Harmonious, Pythagoras, ratios, beauty is harmonious and beautiful. And he'll show you that when you listen to that heavy metal, it's horrible. It's not balanced, it's not symmetrical, right? But when you listen to the classical Bach, Beethoven, beautiful crystals. When you think love, beautiful crystals. You see that? It's harmony, balance always. And that's our journey here. So this is, that's the light being directly filtered into your body through the water, but then you can get exposed to the color, the rays, right? And if you have a certain deficiency, Denshaw is talking about, you figure out what the deficiency is through his manual, expose your body to that, and it's like filling you up if you were lacking vitamin C and now you got vitamin C. And then you can be back into white light again, because white light has all the colors, right? For the science people, just wanted to show you the light frequencies, the amplitude. You can see the higher frequencies, the longer the wavelength, you see in the hertz, and then you can see it doubles. That's what Pythagoras was realized, that you can play ratios of music. That's what that landoma is that I have. So if you take a string and you half it, do you see that? Anyone knows this when you play the piano. Do you see? So then you'll start to see chords and harmonies, and when they harmonize, those are the beautiful ratios of music. And then form is crystallized music. So the ancients, of course, the Greeks especially, think of the pillars, these beautiful temples. When you look at it, it's ratios, symmetry. It's crystallized light and sound. So physically, that's what we are, and they even know this in our bodies, right? We're thinking consciousness. Our bodies have the divine proportion in it. That's what the Vitruvius man, you talk about Leonardo da Vinci. We have the divine proportion in our hands, in our arms, in our entire body. And we're mathematical. It's harmonious. It's ratios, balance. So we're living representatives of light personified, but now in the physical form. And so I'm just showing you the higher, and that's what they're getting the ratios from, the higher the frequency. So how are we going to activate our own wheels of light? This is what the yogis speak of. Most of you all know the chakras, right? And we showed you with one picture of Christ. So they're going to be activating your wheels of light through diet, through thoughts, through meditation, through pure consciousness, right? We have to decalcify that pineal gland, get our bodies up and rolling. So the awareness, the intention, consciousness directs the energy. We have to will it. We have to stay there. We can't get distracted. That's what meditation is for. All the ancients practice meditation and prayers, devotionals, right? But it's intention. In every one of the ancient practices, it's intention and directed attention. Now, we can use the Kabbalah Tree of Life's diagram to help activate, connect our light body. Dr. Robert Gilbert, and I actually have one of his pictures I can show him, and he's now up in heaven, bless his heart. But and you can go on Gaia, he's got a beautiful show on this, and it's gold. So here, I showed you the lightning bolt, but let me show you what he's showing in his beautiful sacred geometry practices. And here, how do you do this? So here you're going to see this if you go to Gaia, and it's Dr. Robert Gilbert. He's got this all there for free for everyone to utilize. It's with intention and direction and imagery. So you're going to start to see this is the tree of life. Think of it on your body. So that's where I showed you the tree of life. So you're going to see that you're placing like grids of light. That's what he's doing. But he's using the sephiroth. So here's, and I'll have another picture of this, but you can see the Sephiro. You're placing the Sephiro with all of its different imagery on top of your body and directing the light to increase. That's what this is. And he's showing you a beautiful meditation of it. I can pass it. Okay. What I want to show you, though, is the tree of life is embedded in the fountain of life. And that's been on the Egyptian pyramids. Oh my goodness, the Egyptians had it back then, right? So it's the wheels of light that we're activating, but we can use the image of the tree of life above our body. And that, remember the cave of Brahma, the pineal gland? That's what he's doing. And that's what the ancient practices were. So you're taking the cave of Brahma, that pineal gland, you're taking the light, and you're putting the light on the pineal gland that activates the third eye, that's the cave of Brahma, and then you're extending it out, right? And bringing it up, so now it's a triangle. And then now you can put it on your shoulders. This entire tree of life is right here embedded in your body. And with intention, you activate each center. And that, now they're talking about the Merkaba. That's what you're activating, is the Merkaba. But these are all ancient practices. These aren't new. What's new is that we're getting through the internet more of this online so that the common person doesn't have to be initiated in the pyramid initiations, right? And be part of a mystery school. Now the populace is getting self-educated. For the common man, it's been democratized. So this is really truly why we're in the age of awakening. We're at the moment in the shift, right? So I can pass this out to you. So I want you to go there if you're interested. Sacred Geometry Practices, the Gold Completion. It's Dr. Robert Gilbert on Gaia. I love Gaia. And so you're starting to see what it is that you're doing. And they're even speaking that God creates the net. It activates this energy grid. And it's symbolic of life. Do you see? But Dr. Robert Gilbert is calling that the grids of life design. It's the wheels of life, which are activating front and back. So the pineal gland, think of the wheels of light. Everyone knows the chakras, but what Kabbalah is doing is you're activating the other centers to create that Merkaba. But when you activate your heart center, or your crown chakra, the third eye, it's front, but also back. It's a light beam. Do you see that? So the light beam is coming through you, right? That's creating that cave of Brahma. I actually might have a picture of that. He doesn't have it online, so that's why I have to have it. You have to just know where to go. But I might have. These are actually, I'm going to just show you these. So you can get all kinds of charts to be able to help you. We want the other ones from the. This is what I want to show you. The Cave of Brahma. That's from Dr. Gilbert. But did I not just show you that picture of Jesus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see that? That's your transfiguration. He knew how to do it, and he was teaching his disciples how to do it. So that's what we're trying for. With intention, you go in there, you increase the light within the cave of Brahma, decalcify that pineal, project it out and up. Do you see that? And this again, you can go anywhere to find that. Again, that's the Eye of Horus. And so you'll start to see that. And I know you guys have seen this. That was right inside the brain. So these chakras are the wheels of light, which, the Hindus have been practicing meditation for thousands and thousands of years. And that's what they're activating to get these wheels of light going, projecting, right? Now, I want us to think about this. We are embodied light here on earth. We've already proven to you with Dr. Fritz Pop that we emit light through our very skin, our cells. It's a biological process, these biophotons. The aura is that electromagnetic field around us. Electromagnetic is part of this beautiful frequencies, right? The monochord, all the frequencies from Earth, where we can touch, where we can see, right? Into the higher rays of light going all the way up from ultraviolet into the cosmic gamma rays. So we are embodied light. Our light consciousness is captured in our physical bodies, but what is a minute form of light itself in a physical form. We're manufacturing light with our consciousness and our biology, our biological functions. We can refine our thoughts and frequencies to increase our light quotient. How do we do that? Jesus commanded, think pure thoughts. He also told us in the Gospel of Peace, you gotta eat correctly. Eat healthy food, right? Not all this processed food. We have to use the sunlight, activate all of the master glands within our body so we're fully functioning. We can't go to the mountaintop and then not eat. We can't be fully, aware. So the mystery schools, unlike Hinduism, I love Hinduism. I have a lot of beautiful philosophy and loving light that's there, that they have the knowledge. But the only thing that I didn't like about it is they were teaching that, you can have to starve yourself to death. The mystics don't speak of that. It's not good to just be on a mountaintop and have all this awareness and you think you can do it. And what happens when you come down to the mountain and someone robs you? You get mad and angry and upset and then you're starving. No, the master's journey is to take all this knowledge, master it, master your physical body, master your thoughts, master your spirituality. Then you are a living master. But you have to do it. We can't just negate our physical bodies. We master them, and we master the universal laws of earth. That's what Christ was teaching his disciples. That's how he's performing the miracles. It wasn't magic. Jesus knew. He studied in Tibet. He had the finest teachers. He had the finest intellect, physical specimen of a body in pure, directed, conscious thought with the source. He knew how to do this. He mastered it. He was the template for it. And then what does he say? You can do this and do this greater than I. That was his whole journey. So we have to become masters on earth of our body, of our thoughts, and walk in mastery. That's what a true master is. And it's not about the ego, right? Anyone's into the ego and it has to be my way. No. A true master, that's how you know a true master. They help you activate your own gifts. You don't have an ego. They may ask you the right questions. They may direct you the right way, right? But it's not about them, their way, ego. Soon, and those are all the temptations that we have to master on this earthly plane of existence. So it's all about balance. You can have authority and humbleness at the same time. Just like the light. Complementary colors. So the mystic is taught to walk up the middle path. Even Buddha, right? The eightfold path. It's the middle path, mastering up the Kabbalion tree. Actually, it's here. If you have Kabbalah, and we're trying to put this on top of our body, right, with the light grids, and we're focusing pineal first and projecting it out, crown chakra, throat chakra. We're putting all of that into our grids of light body, creating our Merkaba. But when you can think of Kabbalah like that, each Sephirah meant something. Now here, it's showing you, I put this one in, this is the third eye, that was the pineal gland, right? They're showing right here. We've had this, guys. It's embedded in Kabbalah. But this was like the great big atom cut Kadmon that, is big, right? But then you also have the entire body and the tree of life. But you can turn around with the tree of Kabbalah. Each one meant it had a virtue. That's what the Sephra that you had to master. And then you had the paths for mastership. But you can have, like, here, one is, this was the lightning bolt of God coming down, male, female, understanding, wisdom, strength, compassion, play, joy, passion, and source. That was Malkuth. Each one then a virtue. And so think of what we're supposed to do. The mystic is taught you go up the middle path to Ein Sof, or to the source of all. You don't get off on the right and left, because even love, if given unconditionally, too much milk can hurt you, right? You have to have balance. So you take love and hate, that's it. You walk the middle. Love and sternness. You have to be, and any parent knows this. You can't just give your, actually Pinocchio was a metaphor. What did the little boys do when they ate all the candy and they started becoming little donkeys? You can't just give into your kids, right? You have to have what? Authority, balance. So that's what even God is trying to tell us, or the mystical schools. We walk up the middle path. We can grab the virtues, but you still walk up with balance. And that's what Pythagoras is speaking about. Balance, ratios, harmony. And create that balance within us. And then we wouldn't have disease, now would we? But we can use our consciousness and our intelligence to navigate these roads here on Earth. And then just to show you, you have cymatics, and the cymatics will make the different images. How similar does that look? The DNA. You see? So each frequency has a certain shape. So you have colors, shapes, it all goes together. And I spoke of this earlier, but think of all the different things we can use for healing devices now that are at our disposal. The laser devices and the LED lights, they're red light therapy. I'm actually doing that now. So I was in a bad car accident. So red light therapy, it reduces inflammation. Do you see that? So how does it help? It increases blood flow and it reduces the inflammation. That's what light, because it's restoring. It's red and orange, is invigorating, right? Blue is calming. We all know that even from the scientific studies. What do they put in doctors and dentist office? Blue, it calms people down, right? When they tell you, don't get a red car because everyone's going to go toward that, right? So we know this. They know this at a cellular level from even sociological experiments, right? What Dinshaw is telling you is if you can figure out where the imbalance is, restore the right light so that you're no longer deficient and then your body's functioning better. Now, also, I can't remember which book it is. I was going to try to look for it. It was Dr. Edwin Babbitt started it, but I had another book that was really old, from the late 1800s, and I don't know where I put it, but I studied it. It's ancient because they're referencing it. What I found interesting is this, and it's what I'm doing. I hope you might want to do it. They did this in the 1920s, and they had cobalt blue milk and magnesia bottles, and they would put water in it and let it out in the sun. And if you look this up online, it's a thing. And if you had burns, they would pour it on the burn and it would help the burn. Well, I knew this from the mystery schools. I got hold of this from a book from the 1800s. And it was telling you this. Now, Dinshaw is doing it currently, right, in the 1940s, 50s, 60s. But they knew this from way long ago. So then think of this, and they were telling you, it has to be pure glass. right? It can't be that just the one that's kind of just shimmered on there, you know. It has to be true cobalt blue or green. Think of red. Do you see that? Orange. But it has to be pure glass. It's baked in. The color's baked in. It's not coated. And you can put the water in it. And then what I do is put Dr. Emoto, love, health, right? So now we're going to put our consciousness in it. But you put it out in the sunlight for a couple of days, and it takes on that hue, right? So then if you're needing a little bit of calmness, you know, agitation or whatever, if you need that blue to calm inflammation, you're drinking blue water. Happens to be filled with love, right? What we just talked about. Orange, you're fatigued. Drink some orange or red water. So that's way back long ago. They knew this. And I just thought it was fascinating that they did this in the 1920s with these milk magnesia pots, and everyone called it the blue water. And then now think about this. If you go back then, what were people eating out of? At least, you know, the upper middle class. Go look at this up. Cobalt blue glass, red glass. Think of this. They were healthier. They weren't eating out of plastic and microwaves either. But look at the elements that would have, it's healing. And you're literally eating it, drinking it. So go back to the old days. Anyway, and we just add a little bit of Dr. Emoto with it. So remember that we are light. We are emitting light out of our hand, our skins, our bodies, right? And we have all these rays of goodness within us with our thoughts, with intention. So what I want to do is maybe just have a beautiful, we're going to close with just a little bit of a few minutes of guided meditation to try to activate these grids of light within us. And then we will close hopefully on time at exactly noon. And now that you have the imagery and we have the iPoras, the pineal, we know what we're doing, right? So I'm going to take my heart and we are all going to, with intention, remember that intention is what directs that energy there. So hopefully we're going to activate and start to decalcify this pineal gland today and then extend it out. And remember that little triune force like Christ, you know, it comes out and up. Okay, so let's take a couple of deep breaths. From that center, we talked about this beautiful ascension process in the frequencies of light. Just like Jacob's ladder. Let's ascend this beautiful frequency of light. Sound organizes matter. Our bodies feel it, even at a DNA level. The frequency of 528, which is unconditional love, actually repairs the DNA. It wraps the telomeres. So let us, though, from earth to heaven, ascend these beautiful frequencies. As we listen to this beautiful frequencies of light, let's bring our directed awareness to that pineal gland. That cave of Brahma. Our thought directed into that beautiful cave of Brahma, the pineal gland. See it? Intensify the light. When we intensify the light, it expands the vital life force, pure consciousness into the cave of Brahma, into the pineal gland. It is our third eye, our spiritual eye, the eye of wisdom, the eye of sight. Project that light consciousness. Intensify it, because as the light intensifies, it can shatter the calcification. Grow the light. Expand into the light. We are light. We are light beings embodied here on earth, living representatives of the divine, made in similitude of the Father, pure and good and loving. Unconditional love, directed unconditional love. Feel that loving light pierce the veils, directed into the pineal gland. As the ancients of old told us and taught us, come into the pineal gland, expand. Expand your light rays of goodness and of light divine. And in so the process, we increase our light quotient. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in love, breathing in light. Extending that light from the pineal gland, extend it from your heart out to the universe. You are loving light. We are loving, living thought. Increase the pineal gland, increase the insight, increase the rays of light within your heart. Expand them. Expand loving light to yourself, to your family, all of our loved ones. To the waters, to the sky, to the heavens, to the cosmos. We are light. We come from light. We are stardust. We are embodied stardust. Take now from the light of the divine and have it come inside your heart and your mind and your body and your soul at a cellular level. We expand our loving light. We fill ourselves with loving light. Our DNA receives it. Increase your threshold of love. Send it to all the countries. Send it for peace. Balance. As two or more are gathered in his name, his will is done. May our streams of consciousness unite together to form a living bridge of loving light that encompasses the entire earth, the waters, the air, the animals, the plants, healing all, Even Dr. Emoto told us that purifying us, our thoughts, our bodies, with pure love divine. And we put that drop of love in the ocean. Purify the waters. We drink of the waters of life, the living waters. Every thought, every action we take is pure. And we receive now these beautiful beams of light, just like Christ. Receive the robes of light from the city of light. When we're virtuous, when we're loving, when we know we're light, we send it to the world. And receive from on high the beautiful rays of light as a beautiful robe to take with you today. You're encased in a beautiful mantle of light, blessed with every thought, word, and action. You are sacred, you are holy, and we are living, loving examples of the Christ light. We will continue to be able to have this beautiful connection. Our pineal gland will continue to extend and expand. The beautiful crown chakra, extending that loving light on either side of our head, with our hearts, and now activating all the wheels of light within our body. We are light personified. We embody the light. We are the light. You are living beings of light. And will act with loving grace with every breath you take. Beautiful. Feel the light now descend upon you and in you. And the activating rays of light come forth from you. You embody the light now forevermore. And we say amen, 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 and amen. And when you feel that it is right to open your eyes, center in the here and now, and awaken with loving light shining forth from your eyes, and your cranial gland in your heart, giving loving light to all those that you come in contact with. Remember, we emanate light. Beautiful. All these little light rays here beaming bright. Now we can sing this little light of mine. Beautiful. I hope that you enjoyed this lecture sermon on light. And now that you walk away from it, you know a little bit more and have a little bit more loving light in you. So I will ask all of you, if you can, so that we can pass our loving light around the world, and more if you can donate online or in person. But if you go online, it's www.ccosl.com/donate. We love everyone being here. We send you loving light. And I want you to have a light-filled day. This is Reverend Robin. I'll see you next month. I always teach the fourth Sunday of the month. And I will be here on the first Sunday with my beautiful lambdoma, the Pythagorean lambdoma, that literally we played at the 528 hertz, which is the frequency of divine love. And they know that when you take blood and you expose it to the 528, it literally wraps the telomeres in the DNA, repairs. What did Dinshaw tell us, right? All we're doing is restoring light, but restoring frequency. Audible, light, rays, it's all the same beautiful monochord. And our cosmic keyboard from the Rosicrucians, they had it, right? This beautiful creation coming down, pretty us. Beautiful. So thank you so much for coming. If I can do this properly, I will sign off on the Cosmic Facebook. Thank you for coming, every single one of my, see all of you watching. Love to you. And may you pass that love to everyone you come into contact with. You got one, and then I think we're going to do stop share. All right, we will sign off now. We appreciate everyone being here. We had a beautiful meditation. This is on Facebook Live. Thank you so much for coming. We see you there. Thank you for coming and being part of our service. And we have the PowerPoint. Hopefully the images helped you, and also the meditation. Remember, you are beings of light, walking in light. Namaste.